Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at noon.
A 3-month-old baby boy had to be airlifted to a Fargo hospital for serious life-changing injuries, including brain and retinal bleeding, and one man is in jail for child abuse in connection to the case. The man, 36-year-old Derek Fagerback, originally said he fell while holding the baby, resulting in a serious injuries. Doctors evaluated the child and said the injuries were not consistent with the fall. Fagerback then said he fell asleep with the child and slumped over. Doctors said that the injuries weren't consistent with that story either. Fagerback changed its story again, saying he rotated the child violently back and forth, causing the child's arms, legs, and head to move uncontrollably, resulting in the injuries. Fagerback then also admitted to shoving a pacifier in the child's mouth to silence him and covering the child. Fagerback is now being held on felony child abuse charges. A woman is in jail accused of shooting someone at a parking lot barbecue in South Fargo back in May. According to Cass County court records, 25-year-old Marilyn Bola Saiblu was charged in district court Wednesday with attempted murder and reckless endangerment. Fargo police officers first responded back to this incident on May 31st to the 4000 block of 16th Avenue South to the report of a woman being shot in the head. Court documents state that a conflict among multiple people escalated this shooting. According to court documents, Saiblu's next court hearing is scheduled for September 8th. Well, we started with fog, but the heat is continuous. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
It is looking better out there for us as we look outside here in Fargo on our First Alert Skycam network. We've got some blue sky, but there's also some clouds too as we look off to the east. It's a mix of both that we'll have today. And here's a look at the latest reports coming in. We're at 75 degrees in Fargo and in Grand Forks. It's partly cloudy. And Fergus Falls, 73, mostly cloudy skies there. Same thing in Bemidji. A little cooler in Jamestown. That's where the fog held on longest this morning. We're currently at 69 degrees. Visibility looking much, much better. In fact, we've got perfect visibility being reported across the region now. And look at your temperatures elsewhere. Again, it's a little cooler west, but we're going to see those temperatures on the rise as we continue on into the afternoon. Here's your radar and satellite map. You can see there are some places that we're going to have some clouds really moving in from the south, and that's going to be mainly in Lakes Country. Fargo-Moorhead may be impacted by that too. Temperatures this afternoon, 70s to some low 80s, and today's kind of the last quiet day before the heat builds in and the storm chances too. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, hopefully it won't be too bad of weather. Thanks again, Lisa. We have updated COVID-19 data for North Dakota and Minnesota. The North Dakota Department of Health is confirming 122 new cases of COVID-19 and another death linked to the illness. In total, 109 deaths have been linked to COVID-19 in the state. There are now 1,119 active cases in North Dakota, with 46 patients hospitalized. 5,949 are listed as recovered. In Minnesota, 867 new cases have been confirmed, along with 7 newly reported deaths. The death toll now sits at 1,636, and 319 are being hospitalized. As parents begin shopping from their back-to-school list, you need to know that a new item has been added to this upcoming school year: face mask. Well, in both Fargo and West Fargo public schools, students must supply at least one face mask per day when entering the school. These masks can be chosen between a washable one or a disposable manufactured one. They must completely cover the mouth and nose. There are a few exceptions to this rule. These go to students that have medical, behavior, or challenges with face masks. In Fargo public schools, schools can also provide one additional face mask for use. These rules will be enforced as students enter the school down hallways, common areas, and even leaving the school. In Walmart and Target, a 20-pack of face mask priced as low as $15. Weekly jobless claims are at the lowest of the pandemic era, but analysts aren't really cheering the news. Weekly jobless claims were at 1.19 million, well below analysts' expectations of 1.42 million. And continuing claims, or the number of people who have been collecting benefits for 2 straight weeks or more, dropped to 16.1 million. The improved numbers are a bright sign and a rather dismal picture, but the claims are still much higher than the pre-pandemic record of 695,000 set in 1982. And despite the improvement in claims this week, some say the picture could deteriorate again as business will start to exhaust their funds from the Paycheck Protection Program. That's why many economists say it's not that today's numbers are that good, but more that the numbers are just less bad. The coronavirus continues to spread in the U.S. The number of new confirmed cases ticked upwards again on Wednesday after a two-day drop. This comes as the national death toll tops 158,000 and with schools at the moment of truth about reopening. Laura Pedestra reports from New York.
Students have returned to class in parts of North Texas. A new academic year began yesterday in 3 school districts in rural Johnson County. There and elsewhere, parents are having to choose between in-person or remote learning.
You don't know how seriously other families are taking it.
Chicago has announced that its 350,000 plus students will start the school year online.
We also understand the struggle this will be for many of our parents.
School districts in Georgia and Mississippi also reopened this week. 2 days in, more than half a dozen students have tested positive for coronavirus. Dozens of classmates and staff members are now in quarantine.
If you look at children are almost, and I would almost say definitely, but almost immune from this disease.
On Wednesday, President Trump again said he believes that it's safe for schools to reopen. The president also said the virus would one day go away on its own. Facebook later deleted a link to Mr. Trump's comments, saying they violated its policy on coronavirus misinformation. Here in New York, checkpoints are being used to help enforce the mandatory 14-day quarantine order.
We've got 35 states now that have dangerously high infection rates. There's a lot to be concerned about.
The checkpoints will be set up at bridges and tunnels entering the city. Visitors will be instructed to isolate themselves if necessary and will be reminded that failing to comply can result in a fine of up to $10,000. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
A spokeswoman for President Trump's re-election campaign said the president meant that children are less susceptible to the effects of the coronavirus. Well, in our consumer alert this afternoon, Cheetos and mac and cheese lovers unite. Frito-Lay is introducing Cheetos flavored mac and cheese. The brand's spokescat, Chester Cheetah, is rolling out the orange carpet for the brand's newest product. Cheetos mac and cheese has the same intense flavor experience of regular Cheetos and comes in 3 varieties: bold and cheesy, flamin' hot, and cheesy jalapeno. Cheetos mac and cheese is available exclusively at Walmart stores nationally or online this Saturday. It would expand to other stores next year. Well, coming up at noon, the 3rd largest school district in the country is announcing hybrid learning to fight the coronavirus. And will it be a warm storm chance today? Weather up next to Plan Your Day.